Hey guys, this is Sandra with Willow57, and today is Wednesday, so let's do a Wednesday with Willow. Alright, I'm going to show you what you're going to need if you want to make what I'm making today. There's nothing new under the sun, as I often say, so nothing I'm making today is anything that I've created personally. This is just my process of how I do it, okay? And what we're going to be doing today is using up two 12 by 12 scrapbook paper sheets, okay? And almost entirely using up the full two sheets. And this is just a stash builder. This is what I'm working on, is building out my stash with some pockets. I'm low on pockets and journaling cards and such, and so that's what I'm going to be doing today. So if you want to join, this is what you're going to need. Some of these things are optional. Let me show you the optional things first. I'm going to be making a couple of things that need stamps, and you can use whatever stamps, butterflies, flowers, whatever. I'm choosing A and B. So then the other, if you choose to make these with me, then you will need some clear varnish, and you're going to need a eyelet setter, hole punch of some kind. I'm using my crocodile. And I think everything else you will absolutely need if you're going to be doing this the same way that I do. So obviously you're going to need your glue. I'm going to be using a glue stick and my tacky glue. A pencil. You're going to need, I use two different colors of inks on mine because mine are going to be very grungy. And again, I'll show you in a minute what we're making. But if you want yours grungy like mine, then pick you two different colors, a dark color and a lighter color. I'm using Vintage Photo in a black. A ruler. Scissors, of course. This is a corner rounder. And then you are going to need two 3x5. I'm using index cards, but they could be any kind of thicker paper that you have. These aren't extremely thick, but some kind of backing for journaling cards. And then I also am going to use two, these are 4x6 index cards. So two 3x5, two 4x6. You're going to need 6 different book pages, or you can use just 6 different backings. Okay, so your choice, and you'll see as we go along. 1 sheet of tea-dyed paper, or just copy paper if you don't have any tea-dyed paper, is fine. Paper cutter, and then your 2 pieces of your choice paper. Now, the paper that I'm using is just very thin, one-sided paper, and that's why I'm using the book pages and the copy paper to kind of back this stuff with. But if you have 2-sided paper, you don't need the book pages or the tea-dyed paper. Okay, so let me show you exactly what I'm making today. Again, I am building my stash, is my goal today. So this is what I've been making the last couple days. This is a belly band. These are 2 different pockets, here. This is a library pocket, they call it library pocket, there. This is 2 journaling cards backed on the index, and then this is another journaling card. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do out of one of my pieces of 12 by 12 papers. The other is similar but different. I'll show you how. Okay, I'm going to make these 2 little tags. These could be added to journaling cards, to journals. You don't have to use eyelets in them. You could make them into other things. You could actually just make them as ephemera to put on a journaling card or whatever too. Okay, I'm going to make this coin envelope out of this one. With it inside is going to be this little paper tuck, like that. Again, 2 of those pockets. I've needed a lot of these, so both sheets I'm making this. You don't have to necessarily, obviously don't have to make any of this stuff, but this is what I'm making today. So, and then another 4x6 journaling card. Okay, so that is what we're going to be making today. And again, this is using up almost the entirety of your 12 by 12 sheets. I'm not an excessive hoarder when it comes to paper. Like, I've seen some of y'all's rooms. Some of y'all's rooms could be used as a store to shop in because you have so many 12 by 12 sheets of paper and stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks. I'm not quite that bad. It probably helps that I'm not that bad due to the fact that I live an hour and a half away from a local craft store that would carry any kind of paper. So that's my excuse why I don't have an extremely lot, but I do have plenty. And, you know, there are just, when you want more, you want newer paper. To me, I don't feel justified in going to buy a bunch more when I still have a bunch that I haven't used. So, and I need my stash built up. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, is I'm trying to build up my stash and I'm trying to use up some of my 12 by 12 sheets. And of course, like I said, all of my stuff is going to be very grungy. So, all right, enough said. We've got a lot to do, so let's get busy. First thing that you need to do is we're going to work one at a time. I'm going to work on the map piece first. You're going to take your paper cutter and you're going to cut it down in half. All right. So cut it at 6 inches, 6 by 12, okay? And I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to put it to the side, and then I'm going to take this piece, turn it sideways, and then I'm going to do 3 4x6 pieces. 1, and then cut this one in half, and that makes 3, okay? So I'm going to work on this 6 inches, or this half of the paper first, and then we'll go to the other side, all right? So the next thing that I'm going to do with these is I'm going to take one of my 4x6 index cards. This is really hard right here, ladies. I hope you're following along. But of course, I'm being sarcastic. I'm going to take my glue book and my glue stick. This one has already been tea dyed, but of course use what you've got. And again, you can use anything to back this with. I'm using this because it's good writing space and it's a good thickness for me. I don't like my journaling cards or anything to be super thick, and these work really good and they're a good size. Okay. All right, so then I'm going to take one of my sheets that I just cut out of my 12x12 paper, and I'm simply just going to add it to the back of this. Try to line it up as best as you can. Push it down like so. Okay, I'm going to do all of my inking and everything at the end. So I'm just going to trim. There's just a little piece, because apparently my 4x6 and the index card industry's 4x6 are slightly different. So however that works, I don't know. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my rounder, my corner rounder, and I'm going to round those corners. Okay. All right. So then I'm going to lay that to the side to be inked later. All right. All right. Next sheet, I'm going to take another one of these, and I'm going to take one of my book pages. Doesn't really matter which one. Part of the book page will be seen, so I would recommend you using something that you like the looks of. You could also, and I have done these, what I'm fixing to do with just another, like gluing 2 pieces of these together, if you'd rather do that. But, you know, if you're like most junk journalers, we tend to have a bunch of book pages lying around that we could use up, right? So, all right, so this is, again, not hard, not rocket science. I'm going to simply glue this one to this sheet. Like, let's do it this side. Like that. Maybe a little crooked, but that's okay. Junk journal, grungy at that, right? All right, so then you take your scissors and you just trim that off. Now, at this point, some of you, you know who you are going to save every last piece of this book page, and you're going to put it in your junk pile, right? Your scrap pile. However, you know, I try to be wise about these things. Will I use these 2 little scraps? Probably never. They're gone. These, however, can make good, you know, scraps. So I'm keeping those. That's me. You do you, boo. And again, just like you did with that one, you're going to take your corner rounder and voila. Oop. And voila. All right. So now you have something that looks like this, right? Okay. I'm going to put that to the side, and then I'm going to get my other 4x6 sheet, and I'm going to get a different type of book page, or again, whatever you decide to back yours with. This is just what I'm using, and I'm actually going to turn around this side because I don't want this showing. And I'm going to glue this down the same. Like that. Nothing complicated. These are easy peasy, but man, do they come in handy later when you're trying to do a journal. And after I get my stash built up to where I'm comfortable with that, I'm probably going to make a bunch of these to sell. Just because, you know, some people who are in junk journaling really don't have the time, the resources, or whatever to make theirs. And, you know, so why not? All right. And again, we are going to round those corners. Okay. All right. So far, we have one that is backed onto an index card. And then we have 2 that are backed onto book pages. Okay. And we're going to lay those to the side for now. And we're going to go on to the second 6x12 sheet. Okay, I'm going to get all this out of my way. All right, put the glue lid on that because that's wise. Okay, and then you take your paper trimmer. And for this one, I am going to do, I'm working on this set. Okay, so these 3 are already done. So what I'm going to be working on now is this. Okay, so in order to get this, I need to cut 7 inches off of this 12x6 sheet. Okay, I'm going to put this to the side, and then I'm going to turn this one, which is now 7x6, and I'm going to turn it to where the 6 inches are this way. Okay, and I'm going to cut that down to 5. So now it's going to be a 5x7 sheet. This right here, don't throw that away. We're going to make a belly band out of that in a little bit. Okay, so now what you have is a 5x7 sheet of paper. You have a 1x7 sheet of paper, and you have a 6x5 sheet of paper. Okay, so you're going to take the 5x7 sheet, and we're going to make this out of it. All right, And at this point, you can do one of two things. You can go ahead and make this into this shape and then back it with some paper, or you can go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and, for the sake of speed, I'm going to go ahead and glue this to one of these papers, one of the book pages, okay? So you take your 5x7 sheet and you glue it down. You back it with book page or whatever you choose to back it with. I hope you guys are all doing well. We are here doing great. The weather has been just beautiful. Little storms here and there, but thankfully nothing too drastic. And speaking of that, I've been praying for the tornado victims recently, and well, and obviously the shooting victims. That's just horrific. All right, so then I'm just going to go ahead and trim down the excess of this, like so. And again, you choose what you keep and you choose what you throw away. All right, now on this part, I'm going to go ahead and fold it into, I make mine as wide as possible. Like I leave barely anything overhanging, but the reason why I do it that way, it makes more room. And then I also come back in with tape and reinforce it so that it isn't coming apart. Okay, but you can make yours as wide as you want. Mine ends up being around 3 inches wide, a little over 3. And the reason why I like it a little over 3 is because these 3x5 pockets, journaling cards fit in there very easily. Okay, so that's how I do that. All right, so then I fold it like that, and then I open it back up. I take my ruler, I figure out what a 1/2 inch down, like that. And I don't know if you can see the folds here, but where the folds are, okay? You take and, I hope you can see this, and you come down 1/2 inch, and then you take your pencil and you make a mark all the way to the fold line on this side, and then from the fold line all the way to the end there, and then you turn it over and you do the exact same thing. Okay, so that's a 1/2 inch down just until the fold lines. I can't even see the fold line on this one, so I'm going to make a mark where the fold line is just so I can see where it's at. Okay, you do not have to do that if you don't want to, but I am. You do you, boo, and I do me. That's how we work. Great. Okay, so there's a 1/2 inch. Come from the fold line over, like that. Okay, does that make sense? All right, and most of you guys have done these things so many times, you know exactly where I'm going with these. This is not, but in case somebody on my channel has never made one of these, I'm going to take my time and do it right. And then you just cut that little corner square off, okay? That I throw away. You can keep it if you want. Down and across. And you do this again on both sides. Like so. La-di-da. Okay. And if you see how that's a little uneven right there, that didn't line up quite right, I just take and trim that down a little bit just to where it's even, or closer to even anyway. Just kind of trim that off. Yeah, like that. Okay. And then what I do for this side is just make a little like that, okay? And then I do the same to the top. You can get yours, you know, as precise as you choose to. You can measure it, make sure they're exactly the same. I just am not that OCD, so it doesn't bother me that if they're not exactly the same, okay? So then that looks like that, and then you take this bottom part, whichever side you decide is bottom, and you fold that up. Oh, and one of the things I forgot to tell you that you might use a bone folder, but you can use whatever for this. You can use your scissors or your fingernail just to kind of make that crease. And I'm not gluing anything down or anything right now because I've yet to ink any of this. And we ink, you don't glue until after you've inked, right? That's my motto, okay? So there's that. That's my little pocket that I just made, okay? All right, so then what you have left is this. And again, this is a 5x6 sheet of paper, okay? So what you're going to need now are your two 2x3 index cards. No, sorry, 3x5. Yeah, 3x5 index cards, okay? And this is where you fold this over, and you take your glue stick, and again, nothing hard or complicated, and you just glue this to this, okay? It should fit just perfectly. pretty doggone close, okay? And you push that all down good. And then you take your scissors and you whack it off. Like that, okay? You put that to the side, and then you do the same thing with this piece. Like that, okay? I don't know if I'm in shot. I hope I am. Okay, and you do that with that, okay? And then again, you just put that, oh wait, I forgot to round the corners. I'm going to do medium on this one. You can do them however big or small you choose. So round the corners on one, round the corners on two. All right, and then all you have left from all of that is this 1x7 inch paper, okay? Now you can throw it away. You know, I'm not about hoarding, so whatever you choose to do. But here's what I do with them, because these would make really good skinny belly bands, right? So I simply just take them, put glue on it like this, and I glue it down to my glue book paper. You can use whatever scrap paper you want, and this just kind of gives it an extra layer, okay? And then you can go ahead and cut that out to get it ready to ink if you so chose to. But what I rather do, let me see if I can find my other. Well, I don't know what I did with it. Oh, here it is. Okay, so this is one that's already been cut out and inked, okay? So this will now be a belly band on a journal page, and you can cut it down to however, you know, long you decide you need it. Of course, you'd have to do re-inking, but it is what it is. But this is what I would do. This is what I do, is I take them and I just glue them down to the paper, and then I cut them out as I need them and ink them, okay? But you do it however you choose to, and that just goes over there in my stash ready for more to be added to it, okay? All right, so the next step is the inking part, all right? Now, again, mine are very grungy, so I use 2 different colors of inks like we talked about. What did I do with my inks? That would be a good thing to know. There they are. Okay. So I'm just going to ink one, okay, just to show you. Actually, I'll ink this, and then I'm going to pause the video, and I'm going to ink the rest, and then I'll come back and show you the rest, because you do not need to sit and watch me ink. So let me show you how I very grandly ink everything, okay? I'm going to get out this I just keep underneath my craft pad for whenever I'm ready, okay? So I start with the brown, and I get a lot of ink on my dauber, and I just go through. Oh, looks like I could use a refresher. Hold on. Kind of let that set for a second, absorb some of the ink that's in there. I can put on the Distress Oxide, the water is fine. I would not do that on a permanent one. You just got to get more ink. But the water activates the ink in the Distress Oxide, so it kind of brings it back to life. So anyway, I ink this up really good with the brown, make it very grungy. I kind of, you know, go all over it. Just make it as grungy as I want. It's Grungy. It's my middle name. Okay. On this side, I only have to kind of ink in here. Okay, because that's really going to be the only thing that's seen on this. All right. But again, you just make sure everything's well inked. Fold that. Make sure that fold has gotten ink. Okay. And then after I've done the brown, I go through with the black. And the black, I just do it's kind of like an outline. It kind of gives it that burnt edge look, I think, that I like with the grunge, okay? So I just do a very little light. Now I could add black to the whole thing, and I have done that, and that's fine. A little bit of black just to kind of... Okay, so my video stopped for some reason, so I had to get that fixed. All right, so as I was doing, just going along with the black ink and just kind of doing a outline of everything. Okay, everywhere that is seen. And you can come, again, you can add more black if you choose to, but this is just kind of how I like it, right? It kind of gives it just an outline, kind of like a burnt, but you could take the black and kind of, you know, grunge it up even more, okay? There's no such thing as too much grunge. All right, and then once it's inked on this, I go through and add just a little bit of glue on the edge right here. Not too much, because you don't want it to go, because you don't have very much of a lip the way that I made this, right? So just kind of glue that, and then glue the bottom. Okay. And then I take some tape, or you can use washi tape, you can use whatever, or you can just leave it, but just to be sure, because I don't put very much of a lip on it, I like to reinforce this with this fabric tape. Okay. And then I take my brown ink and, you know, grunge it up. however grungy you want it, okay? Like that. All right, so that one's done. I'm going to go ahead and ink all the rest of these, and then I'll be back to show you what we're going to do with the rest of them, okay? So hold on just a second. Okay, so I'm finishing up the inking on this last card. Again, I'm just taking both colors, the brown first, and then the black, and just kind of doing an outline with the black. Kind of give it that, you know, burnt grunge look, okay? So all the other pieces I've already done. So these three, the journaling cards, they're basically done, you know, as far as putting your stash. The decorating and stuff I would do as I'm making a journal and whatever I wanted to add to this, any tabs or, you know, whatever ephemera I want to decorate that with. So this right here will fit into one of these if you like to have a matching journaling card in your pocket, or they can just go in your stash and add something different to that pocket, which is probably what I'm going to do. Okay, so all of that's done. Those are done, okay? So now it's these two that we put the book backing to, okay? We're going to make these into pockets. So what I do here is I take this and I fold it up about 2.5 inches. And this don't have to be exact. You can do this however you choose to. This is just kind of where I like them at. Somewhere in that vicinity, okay? And then bone folder, like that, okay? And at this point, if you so wanted to, you could put a little divot in this with your circle punch. I just prefer it straight edged on these, okay? But you do you, okay? So then I just take me a little bead of glue on both sides and kind of hold that down until it catches. Cute, right? The cute little pocket. And again, these fit and they match if you want matching ones. But again, I prefer probably not matching. So I will store these separately and add different journaling cards as I want them. Okay, and then this one, you do exact the same thing, except for how I did this in the background. I'm probably going to do it opposite, okay, to where it's this way. So I fold this up about 2.5 inches, like so. And your paper, if you're using old book pages, as you can see right here, it's kind of ripping, but I'm doing grunge, so that is not an issue for me. Okay, and then again, you add your glue, like that. And then the last step for these two are to ink up the bottoms, okay? And again, that tearing is not a problem for me. If it is for you, then you can take some more of your tape and put on there, whatever. But I like that look, so I'm going to leave it, okay? And this one, you take the brown up a little bit to where it's, you know, like that. And then with the black, again, it's just a line, like that. Okay, on both sides. Like that. All right, so here is our first set. And we also made the belly band, which is in our stash already, ready to be cut out. So we made that. We made 3 journaling cards and 3 pockets. Okay? The belly band, 3 journaling cards and 3 pockets. All right? Okay. So now let's go on to the next one. And I don't know that time's going to allow me to do everything that I did. I'm going to pause this to get ready for the next one. Hold on just a second. Okay, so here I am with the next 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and this is what we're going to be getting out of this. We're going to get 1 journaling card and 3 pockets and 1 journaling paper and these 2 little tags, okay? All right. For time's sake, I'm going to tell you this. These are exactly the same way we did the first, right? We made 3. These are 4 by 6 sheets. We glued 2 of them to book pages and 1 of them to an index card. These 2 we folded up and made into pockets. This one we left it as it is, okay? I'm not going to go through doing these all over again because it's the same thing. So you can just go back and watch the others. You get the point. Now this side, what we're going to have to do is cut this down. Again, the 6 inches. It's going to be 6 by 12. Okay, this right here is going to make these 3, just like we did last time. This one right here has this little extra lip that I'm going to go ahead and cut off. Okay, so on this one, again, same thing. You're going to go down to 7 inches. Actually, I'm going to turn it around this way. We're going to do 7. It's going to be 7 by 6, like that. All right. The difference is on this one, we are not going to cut it down to 5. We're going to leave this 7 by 6, okay? So 7x6 piece of paper, you're going to take one of your book pages, whichever one you choose, and you're going to glue it to it, okay? So I'm going to glue this directly to the book page. Second verse, same as the first. We are making with this 6x7 piece of paper, we're going to be making this little coin envelope, okay? That's what we're making. So you glue it down and you cut it out. Again, whoa, I had 2 pages there. You decide which scraps you want to keep and which scraps you want to throw away. Completely up to you. However, you can use this in a minute to help thicken these up. So if you want to keep that piece right there off your book page, keep it. Good idea. But you don't have to. All right, and then on this one, what you're going to do is same as we did for the other pocket that we made. We're going to go ahead and make it, the tall is up and down. Okay, so the 7 inches goes up and down. The 6 inches go side to side. And you're going to fold this just like we did the other pocket that we made. Barely leave a little tab there to glue together. Kind of make it as straight as you can get it at the bottom and at the top. Okay, and then you make a crease like that. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing that we did last time, except on the bottom we're going to do a 1/2 inch, just like we did before. 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and you're going to take your pencil. Sure I am, because I know where my pencil is. Okay, fine. I don't know where my pencil is. I must have dropped it. We'll use a pen. I'm not scared. Okay, and 1/2 inch from the side to the crease, right? I can't see that crease again. I'll mark it. 1/2 inch. The crease to the side. And then on the top, you're going to do 1.5 inches. Okay? You're going to come down 1.5 inches. And you're going to make a line from there to the crease, from the crease to the end, like that. Okay? Got it? So that's what it should look like now. All right? And then you take your scissors. I'm going to take these little ones because it's just easier to cut with this. Smaller pieces. And again, you cut these off like that. Keep it if you want. Throw it away if you choose to on these sides, these little ones. However, on the bigger ones, I am going to keep these corners. Okay, I'm going to keep this corner and this corner because that is also going to, I'll show you in just a second. See, that's going to be my dangle, right? I'm going to make this with this, okay? Go like that and like that. And then you're going to fold it like that. Make this like a so. And then fold it up just like we did before. And then this you're going to go, I'm going to trim this down just a little bit because it's kind of too tight right there. Now you can angle this if you want to. I usually don't. What I do is take the hole puncher and I just round them. I mean, not hole puncher, sorry, corner rounder. That's the word, okay? And then I come up about 1/2 inch and I fold this down, leaving some space. So about like that, okay? So then you've got space to put something in there. Again, you can put a divot in that, right? If you so chose to, all right? But you get the point, all right? So there's that. There's this, and you'll glue it, you'll ink it, well, ink it first, and then you glue it to make it this, right? You got that. Okay, then this piece, what I do with this piece, which is 6x5, okay, I simply take my tea stain paper, and I glue it to it, glue it to it, glue it to it, like that. All right, then be the longest video I've ever done. I bet it's going to be over an hour once it's edited. Hee hee. Okay. Cut off all the extras. Like that. And then I take my corner rounder and I make me some rounded corners. And then I take and fold it into thirds, keeping it about 2.5 inches wide is all, because that's very straight. Once I've inked this, this will then be what goes inside of this. Okay, so there's those two together. All right. All right, now let's get on to these because I don't have much time. So you take these two pieces, right? And you take this and you take some of the scraps from the tea dyed paper and you just keep adding more to the back of this. Okay, just to do this last. Do this first. So you just stick that on there just to give it a little bit more thickness. Okay. Like that and like that. Okay, and you cut this off. Okay, and then you add the tea dyed, and you could keep going, add it as thick as you want it to be. I'm going to, for the sake of the video, I'm going to stop it. This one. So at this point, this is 3 layers thick. Okay, you have the 12 by 12 sheet. You have the book page that you originally glued it to. Then another piece of book page. Now you're going to glue it to the tea dyed paper. Okay, so this is going to be 4 pages thick. And that's good. Okay. Again, you can make it as thick as you want. If you want them super thick, you can actually glue these to cardboard and be done with it, but we're trying to get rid of scraps here, so if you have cardboard scraps, I guess, which I do, of course. Okay, so once you glue them to that, cut them out. I'm trying to hurry here, so I'm getting messy. Like that. And then I take my corner rounder and I do it on small. You can do it wherever you want. Maybe. This one. All right. Your corner rounder again. So again, this is now 4 pages thick, right? And now what you're going to do is take your inks and you're going to ink them up. Again, mine are grungy. You do yours the way you want them to be. Okay. Grungy, and then the black outline that I like. Again, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, obviously. Like that. And then this is where I would take my stamps, get some ink on there, stamp it out. It does not bother me that that's a messy stamp because, again, I'm grungy. Messy and grunge, they go together, okay? All right, so then what I would do is I would take my basic acrylic. I don't know where my... Let's use this. Oops. Hold on. I know this is messy, but that's how I roll, okay? You let that dry, or you dry it with your heat gun, and then you turn it over and do the other side. This is just, it kind of gives it a little bit of a better substance, okay? To where it's not just paper. This kind of gives it a thickness to it. So that's why I'm using it. This is a clear gloss varnish, okay? But you do not have to do that if you don't want to. That's completely up to you. Okay, so then once these are dry, then I would, again, do the back and then poke a hole and put the eyelets in it. And then that's what you got. Or you can leave them just like this. In fact, I'm going to do that. And just use them as decorations on paper, okay? But that's just using up every little scrap that you can on your 12 by 12 papers. All right, so I'm going to pause. I'm going to finish all of this, inking all of this. I'm going to go ahead and make these into a journaling card and 2 more pockets, and then I'll be back and show you all the finished stuff. Okay, hold on just a second. Okay, wow, that was intense. Look at these hands. Just the way I like it, you know, good and grungy. All right, so here's what we made out of our two 12 by 12 sheets of paper with some book pages and some index cards and tea-dye paper. So that's pretty cool, right? All of the stuff that most of us have already. So we made 3 journaling cards out of this and 3 pockets and the belly band, okay? And then the next 12 by 12, we made ourselves these little tabs. Cute little ephemera. We made us a coin envelope with this paper to go inside of it. Writing spot, like that. And then we made 2 more pockets and another journaling card. So out of 2 12 by 12 papers, we made ourselves 4 journaling cards. Is that right? 4 journaling cards. 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets, 1 library pocket, 1 coin envelope with a writing space, and 2 little tabs, whatever they are. I don't know. Could be tabs. Actually, that would be really cute as a tab. Just staple that right there. That'd be cute, right? Absolutely. So anyway, there you have it. That's what I do with my 12 by 12 sheets. This is going into my stash. And again, I will be making some of these eventually to be selling on Etsy after I get my stash built up. So thank you guys so much for being with me. I know this has been a very long video. But it is what it is, you know. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something. I'm sure that this is nothing new under the sun, but it's just a great way to use up 12 by 12. And anyway, thanks for hanging with me on this Wednesday with Willow57. I hope that this finds you all well and blessed. I thank you guys for your time. Appreciate you. Talk to you later. Bye.